Now I was gonna
Okay.
ask you, I was looking at your page, you got a chance to work with Mary J and on a No Drama project.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, can you talk
Yeah,
about that a little bit?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that that situation happened pretty much. I had I used to be signed to 2000 watts, and coming out of that, we kind of like everything dissolved a little bit. Everybody was going in a different directions or whatever, and I ended up picking up Flavor Unit and Queen Latifah as a management, and her and Shaw Kim began to manage me and stuff. So that was one of the things that came out of that. And I was at the studio one day. I didn't know what was going on, and then Ken Do whispered in my ear. He was like, "Hey, man, hey, my homegirl coming up here, my girl coming up here," and I'm like, "What you talking about?" He's like, "You gonna see," and then in walked Mary, and I'm like, "Oh, I ain't ready." I actually had like a few beats that I had did that I ain't have and or whatever. So a friend of mine that was writing had the DATs back then. We had the DATs or whatever, and then I ended up getting her to come down in a cab for the DAT. And I was like, damn, this would be a perfect time to play the songs. I was like, I'll buy you lunch. Just come down here. So, um, make a small story short, how that happened pretty much was she showed up to the studio and I played her this track that I had for her that I had made previously for her. Didn't know how I was gonna get it to her initially, but I just like kind of manifested I wanted to work with Mary before this, and I was like, there's some kind of way it's gonna happen. It was just weird. But it's something I never told nobody either. It's just something I had in my head. So you if you say that to people, people are like, man, you lying, man, you ain't. I was like, yeah, man, it was like I really thought this out. Like this would be the perfect situation. Like, but yeah, we ended up. She ended up hearing some stuff and ended up liking it. And she's like, I'll be back in town in 2 weeks. What you doing in 2 weeks? And I'm like, working with you. And you know. And she came back. We did like 7 other records, and in the studio at her spot in Manhattan, and I think it was a process. We just like started cutting a lot of records, and they picked which ones they wanted to use, and somehow my three made it on the first edition. Beautiful Day, Crazy Games, and Testimony on the first edition, and No More Drama. And then second edition, they took Crazy Games off. But yeah, it's pretty much. But it was cool working with her. She's a full range singer from something I'm not used to working with from all the ways from soprano to all the way down to baritone bass area. Um, for a woman to do that and to make herself sound different on different tracks to make it sound like a whole choir effect to not make it sound like it's just Mary J. Blige singing in the background. So it's like all these little different genius things I picked up and I brought with me to my producer world after working with her,
Oh wow,
so
man,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
truly
yeah. I mean,
amazing.
there's plenty of other things I could talk about, but yeah, those are the highlights. She don't play, of course, because everybody was like, "Yeah, you work with Mary, man. She is this," and I ain't really see none of that. I was just like, because I really took, seriously what I was doing. You know what I mean? And when people love something the same way, there's no problems. Um, you know, other than I was there to take direction and give direction. So, it's all good, you know.
Yeah, man, that's a blessing, most definitely, man. To
Yeah,
work with, some people would say she's the greatest. She's one of the greatest, most definitely.
man, man, yeah, yeah, man. That's a blessing, man. That was a blessing, man. We just hit it off, man. Yeah, we just really, really hit it off, and she just let me kind of use her as an instrument, you know. And I always tried to work. We always tried to meet up each other again and work together again. I've seen her a few times here and there, and like uh, it seemed like every time I see her, she's at the end of an album, at the end process of an album, and I'm like, dang, it just, she was like, Flav, I ain't letting you mess up my album process because I know you're gonna play me some stuff and I'm gonna want to switch everything up. So I was like, I respect that. She's like, yeah, I ain't fucking with you right now. So
But I was gonna say, you had said something earlier. It was very important. You thought it first in your mind. Your thoughts is powerful, man, and then you made it happen. Like they say, it's 90% mental.
yeah, it is. It is. That didn't just happen on a luck. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't a random thing. Um, you know, it definitely wasn't random. That's for sure. Yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was just one of them things, man. It was just happened, but that come from. I give credit to them both, Mary and Latifah, because Latifah didn't. I was in there actually working with her, and it was just one of them situations where she was like, hey, that's what we do. We work together. You family. That's what we gonna do. So
Man, that's
that
amazing.
yeah, that was good. I think the 25th anniversary just passed. I'm not sure. I think this year, for No More Drama. I think.
Wow. It's
Yeah,
been a while, but that's a
yeah,
classic. That's one of the
yeah. It's,
memorable ones. So, yeah.
yeah, I think it was like considered the first pop album. I think, like Mary, pop album, but
So you definitely worked with two giants. You got to work with Latifah, Queen Latifah, and Mary J.
yeah.
Blige.